when I arrived in the room, I knew that it was pretty tense. I can always tell with Mrs. Nixon. I remembered at the time of the fund when we were in Portland, just before going down to make the broadcast. She had a terrible, severe pain in her neck. She gets a pain in her neck and very stiff when under tension. And this time I could see the throbbing. But when she saw me, she put on a great act. I guess it was an act. She got up and she came up and threw her arms around me and she said, "We're all very proud of you, Daddy." Well, I didn't know quite what to say, and Ollie, fortunately for me, for my emotions, Stephanie said, "You know, I think it would be nice if we could get a picture of Mrs. Nixon and you in the rose garden." And she said, "No, Ollie, that's too much. I just can't do it." And Tricia said, "I'll go with you, Daddy." So I went down with Tricia to the rose garden. It was incidentally quite appropriate that she go because we were able to think back to a happier time, 1971, 3 years before, when she and Eddie were married in the rose garden. We talked about that wedding, what a beautiful and wonderful occasion it was for all of us. And I must say, as I looked at Tricia, she was as beautiful, I think more so then and even now than she was then. So then we went back upstairs. We had a bite to eat. Nobody was very hungry. I can't even remember what we had that night. It was good, but not sensational. Could have been sensational. We wouldn't have known. And then I felt that probably we ought to have a family picture because our favorite White House picture had been of the whole family for formal purposes distributed during the campaign. And so
Which was your favorite picture?
The favorite picture was of the whole family, where both couples and Mrs. Nixon and me, and on either side. So I told Ollie that I would, that we would have the picture, and I put on somewhat of a false front and bravado and tried to arrange it in my usual way. You stand here, stand accordion-like so that you won't be cut out of the picture. And Ollie mercifully was quick because we were all uptight. Tears were brimming in virtually everybody's eyes. And then after he snapped that picture, Julie just couldn't hold in the tears any longer. She rushed over to me and threw her arms around me and said, "I love you so much, Daddy." Well, by that time, I couldn't say much either. Well, that was now way past midnight. As Ron was leaving, he had been a loyal fellow and so forth and so on, and I sort of thought, I've really never given him a tour of the upstairs. He'd seen it, of course, but I wanted him to see it through my eyes. So I had all the lights turned on in the Queen's bedroom, in the Lincoln bedroom, and in the yellow oval room, and so forth and so on. And I walked through the rooms and showed them all to him and explained a little about the history and finally took him to the elevator. He seemed to be quite moved by it. And he just said simply, he said, "You've had a great presidency, sir."